Welcome to the Money is Emotional podcast with Christine Luken, the financial dignity coach. In this podcast, we help you recover a positive and peaceful relationship with your personal finances. We do this by bringing together wise money management with emotional intelligence. Join us for this journey where we navigate our relationship with money as Christine Luken draws from years of experience and guest experts to help you get to the root of your money issues.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Money is Emotional podcast. I am your host, Christine Luken. Today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, happiness. More specifically, money and happiness. I like to say money's job is to support our happiness, not to be the source of it. Now, I know this is a tricky dance. So many of us were taught, either directly or indirectly, that more money equals more happiness. But is that actually true? And if not, what is? This is what we are unpacking in today's episode. So when we talk about money and happiness, I'm not talking about toxic positivity, right? The foundational truth is that the goal isn't to be happy and blissed out 24/7, whether we're talking about our money or any other area of life. There are times when we are going to be sad. There are times when we are going to be angry or disappointed. All of those emotions are valid. As humans, we are going to experience a range of emotions. That is just the way life is. However, when it comes to your money, I would love for your natural resting state relative to money to be overwhelmingly positive and peaceful. True happiness is more about peace, well-being, contentment, and satisfaction, right? It's about feeling safe and steady with the rhythms of life and with the rhythms of your money. Money should support that kind of happiness. It's not the source of it, but it is a tool and a very powerful one. Yet, it is still just a tool. You have heard of people making millions of dollars who have taken their life, right? And sometimes we think, wow, how can somebody so successful be so sad? Or, someone who is so rich, shouldn't they be happy? Well, the two are not directly correlated. So think about it this way. Money is a tool that can help you navigate towards greater joy and happiness. But it is not the destination itself. More money can make you happier, but only to a point. So you might have heard this particular statistic. Once you hit around $75,000 to $100,000 a year in income, the happiness boost starts to level off. We call this the income plateau. So if you aren't making enough money to pay the bills, or it's a struggle, you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's hard for you to afford the daily things of life. More money is definitely going to increase your happiness if you're in that situation. Because if you're in that constant state of stress and worry and anxiety about your financial future, it is hard to feel peaceful and positive. However, here's what's interesting. When you get to that tipping point, right? For most people, making 100 grand means all the bills are paid and there's some money left over for fun. You're not scrambling to survive financially. But as you earn beyond that amount, and let's just use 100 grand for round numbers, the happiness you gain from that extra money has diminishing returns, meaning that greater jumps in money don't equal the same amount of increases in happiness. So, for example, if you double your income from 100 grand to 200 grand per year, it's not going to make you twice as happy. Now, that doesn't mean more money is bad. However, the diminishing returns are real. So it might be time to pause and recalibrate if you're constantly chasing just a little more to feel happy or secure. And here's the thing. On your way to financial success, it is important to cultivate happiness right where you are on the journey. Now, we talked about this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about envy, contentment, and comparison. So, when we were talking about contentment, we were also talking about gratitude, about being grateful for where you are as you are looking forward to what's coming in the future. Finding happiness where you are now is going to allow you to enjoy the journey, and it's just going to make things much more pleasant. Because here's the thing, if we say, I will be happy when I make this much, when I get when I get my business to the next level, or when I get the promotion, then I'll give myself permission to be happy. The problem is that finish line is always moving. Anytime we reach a milestone, we get there and we realize, I'm not happy. Like, I've gotten this milestone, I've gotten this money, and I'm not happy. That's because the money in and of itself is never going to make you happy, right? We have to decide to be happy where we are right now and appreciate the things that we have. Because if we're not grateful now, we're probably not going to be grateful when we get the promotion or when we get the raise. So, it's kind of this catch-22. And yes, obviously, if you are living very close to the poverty line, having more money is going to increase your happiness. And it's really because money is it's almost like a pressure valve, right? So if you have a high amount of financial pressure because your income is low, when that valve is released, you are going to feel that relief. However, if you're not managing your money well and more money comes in, that may or may not solve your happiness problem, right? So chasing money as the source of your happiness is a race that you can never win. Now, just because more money isn't going to necessarily increase your happiness, does that mean we should just ignore our money? No. Look, if you've ever tried to feel better about money by ignoring your finances, you know that this does not work. When your money is in a state of neglect or chaos, it causes stress and anxiety. How do I know this? Because I used to live this. In my 20s, I crashed and burned financially. I had a period of 7 years from age 19 to age 26 where my finances were a mess. Now, if you want to hear the whole story about how I crashed and burned despite having my accounting degree, go back and listen to episode 1 of the Money is Emotional podcast. Now, during that time, I lived in a constant state of stress and money anxiety. Sometimes it was very high, sometimes it was lower, but it never went away. So I can tell you with 100% certainty that ignoring money at any income level does not bring you happiness. Being mindful, but not obsessed with money is the sweet spot. And what does that look like? That involves getting organized, having an intentional system, or what I call a personalized prosperity plan, and spending regular time managing your money. Clarity about your money is very calming, and having a plan gives you power, which can decrease your money stress and your anxiety, right? So money stress and anxiety have an inverse relationship with happiness. The less stressed you are about money, the easier it is to feel happy, right? So what does it actually look like to spend money in a way that supports your happiness? So I want to share some science-backed insights from the book, Happy Money, The Science of Happier Spending, written by Elizabeth Dunn and Michael Norton. These findings are gold, and I see them work every day with my clients, and I've seen them work in my own experience. So one of the first things that they talk about is buying experiences over stuff. What they realized was people who spent money on experiences had a higher level of happiness over a longer period of time than the people who spent the same amount of money on stuff, even if they really wanted that stuff. Here's why. Experiences create more profound, more lasting joy than material things. And part of it is because of the memories that they create and the stories that come out of the experiences. So think about it. You remember the beach vacation with your bestie, the concert under the stars, the Indian cooking class you took with your spouse, that Louis Vuitton handbag that you bought 3 or 4 years ago. You don't even know what closet it's in, right? Guys, maybe it was a new toolbox. It's shoved down in the basement somewhere. You barely remember that you even have it. Experiences build connection with the people that you share them with and memories in a way that most physical stuff just does not do. When I think about some of the best money I have ever spent, it involves experiences with people that I love. The dog sled ride on a glacier in Alaska with my friend Nicole. Totally epic. The helicopter ride over the lava flows in Hawaii with Nick. One of my favorite memories ever. Or playing golf on the oldest golf course in America with my dad and my brother Jimmy for my dad's 70th birthday, right? Like, that was 10 years ago. I still remember that trip to the Greenbrier. 10 years. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I wouldn't trade the money that I spent on that for anything. for a purse or anything else. So when you think about the things that you're spending money on and the experiences that you're spending money on, are they really bringing you lasting joy? We might need to adjust some of these things.
Dare to enter the Wealthy Woman Book Club, where answers exist to forbidden questions, where women of all ages and income secretly gather, where knowledge is shared, where possibilities are explored, where women claim their power. Dare to stay a spell in the Wealthy Woman Book Club. In this place, we lift each other up. In this place, we start dreaming again. In this place, we see financial miracles. In this place, we grow through the glory and the failure. In this place, we step into a new identity. Dare to champion the Wealthy Woman Book Club. We're creating a future where women are financially empowered across the globe. We're creating a future where our daughters stand on equal financial footing with our sons. We're creating a future where we purchase with our principles rather than price tags. We're creating a future where we use the power of money for the benefit of people and the planet. Welcome to the Wealthy Woman Book Club. Dare to come in, woman. Come in. Join us at wealthywomanbookclub.com.
Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to spend money on things, but you want to be thinking about, are these things really enhancing your life and supporting your happiness? So I heard a story from a guy, and honestly, I can't even remember who was telling me this story because it was so long ago. But he was telling me, if I were to run this financial decision by Dave Ramsey, he would tell me it was not good and I should totally avoid it. But he said, I think it is some of the best money I ever spent. He bought a boat. And he said, here's the reason why this purchase is so awesome. He said, my kids are getting to be late teens, young adults, and we live very close to a lake. And now that we have this boat, they are over all the time. They actually want to hang out with us. Their parents, they want to come out with us on the lake. And the memories that we are making, having fun, out on the lake with this boat have been incredible. So you may want to think about the things that you're spending money on, how they're enhancing your happiness. So, for example, my brother and his wife Amber, they have a gorgeous house. I love it. It's huge. It's huge. Now, for me, that house is way too big because it's just two people, me and my husband. Now, their house is much bigger than they need for their family of four, but they love entertaining. When they host Thanksgiving, they are hosting both sides of the family, and there can be like anywhere from 50 to 75 people in that house, and it still doesn't feel crowded. They love entertaining. My sister-in-law loves having all the teenagers over, right? My niece and nephew. She prefers that they hang out with their friends at their house. She loves being able to keep an eye on them. She loves the fact that she's got plenty of room for them to hang out and have fun. For them, it is worth it to have paid the money that they paid for this house because it brings them joy. They love entertaining. Now, on the flip side, my husband's an introvert. Entertaining is not his favorite thing. He jokingly says, when we look for our next house, it can't have too many bedrooms because we don't want people coming and staying with us for too long and being too comfortable. Right? So And you might feel the same way. Maybe you're an introvert and you don't want a whole house full of people. And you say, you know what? I'd rather have a smaller, cozier house because I'd rather have that extra income to travel. That's the beauty of it, is that you get to decide. You get to decide what is worth it and what is in line with your values. So here's the second principle that they talked about in the book, Happy Money. And this is buy time. This is one of my favorites. Use your money to buy back your time. Outsource the things that drain you, whether it's cleaning the house, grocery shopping, or the business tasks that you dread. Some of the best money that I spend is on my house cleaner. I am buying back 10 hours per month of my time that I can spend on the things that I enjoy rather than cleaning my toilet. For me, it's worth every penny. And look, this is also going to be very individualized for you. So, for example, my husband loves to change his oil. He wouldn't think about outsourcing it to somebody else. I think the only way he would is if he was physically unable to crawl under the car and do it. For me, that's not a good use of my time. I don't want to do it. And if my husband doesn't want to do it, I have no problem paying somebody to do that. He also loves to clean his car. He washes his car almost every week. I pay somebody about once a month. When my car starts getting dirty, I'm happy to pay somebody to do it. So that's the thing. Think about what are the things that you dread doing? And can you use some of your money to outsource those? Because when you reclaim your time, you protect your energy. You make space for rest, joy, and presence. It gives you more time to spend with your loved ones rather than waiting in line at the post office or creating social media graphics, right? That is priceless. So think about those things in your life that you are doing right now that you'd rather not be doing. In fact, just recently I asked my house cleaner, I said, hey, do you want to run some personal errands for me and I'll pay you your hourly rate? So she's been doing things for me like running stuff to the post office or the UPS store or taking something back for a return at a store or dropping stuff off at Goodwill. That way I don't have to waste an hour or two of my time running around and doing that. And she's happy to do that for me, right? She's running those errands for me in between her cleaning clients. So some of the things that you dread doing, somebody else actually likes to do. So why not let them? Let them do it. Okay, so the third and final piece that I want to mention about the book, Happy Money, is investing in others. So here was something so beautiful that the research showed. Spending money on other people increases our happiness more than spending it on ourselves. So whether it's treating your friend to coffee, surprising your partner with something thoughtful, or giving to a cause that you care about, that kind of generosity reconnects us with abundance. It reminds us that we have enough and we are enough. It's pretty awesome, huh? I mean, here's the thing. I love buying things for other people. Gifting to other people is my love language. I so thoroughly enjoy finding something that I know is going to delight one of my friends, my mom, doesn't matter. Like that brings me so much joy. Same thing with giving to charity. I mean, there's actually a word for it. It's called the helper's high. When you give time or money to a cause, even just paying for the coffee behind you, right? So if you're in line at Starbucks and you pay for the coffee of the person behind you, that actually gives you a high. You're going to get more pleasure from the fact that you paid for that person's coffee than you're going to get pleasure from the money you spent on your own delicious coffee. So keep those things in mind. Spending on experiences, buying your time back, and spending money on other people. And it does not have to be a lot of money. That's the cool thing. It can be just a very small amount. How you spend your money matters more than how much you spend. So, based on what we've talked about, how do you need to shift your behavior with or the allocation of your money so that it supports your happiness more? And this is really important to think about your values. What are the things that are important to you? You know, sometimes we can tease people or condemn people and say, like, well, you shouldn't spend so much money on X. And that person might say, I love spending money on that. Like, it makes me happy, right? So for me right now, it's crystals. I love spending money on crystals. And you might think that I spend way too much money on them. And you know what? I don't care because they bring me joy. We all have things like that, right? What are those things that really do bring you a high level of satisfaction? What are the experiences? And sometimes just like taking a step back and examining your spending. Because sometimes we can get the same result by spending a lesser amount or by changing how we spend our money, right? So rather than just spending money the way everybody else in your friend group spends money because you want to be connected with them and be doing the activities that they're doing with them, like really step back and say, do I value what I'm spending my money on? Am I really getting a good happiness bang for my buck? Right? And only you can answer that. You know, you might, like for you, joining the golf country club, you might get so much satisfaction out of that. You might make a whole huge group of friends and it gets you out golfing multiple times a week. And it's important for you to be healthy, you know, to get your exercise. Being out in nature on the golf course might really rejuvenate your mood and your state of mind. Whereas somebody else might join a golf country club just because their friends are doing it. And when it comes down to it, they're not getting that level of satisfaction. Maybe it would be better for them to take that money and go do something else. So there's not a right or wrong answer. But we want to be sure that we're doing this intentionally. So if you can't honestly say that money is supporting your happiness, step back, look at your values, and see if your spending is lining up with your values. And maybe you don't know because you don't have a handle on your spending, right? Maybe your money is disorganized, and so you don't really know where it's going. That might be part of the problem, the issue. The bottom line is this, like the goal is not financial perfection. It's peace. I want you to feel largely positive and peaceful about your finances, even when life throws you a curveball. Now, look, there are going to be situations that happen in life where more money is not going to fix it. It's not going to give you 1 ounce more of happiness, right? If you have a major tragedy, If you have a parent or a spouse who passes away, money's not going to fix that, right? But when you think about your financial situation, I want you to feel largely positive and peaceful about it. So the truth is that it's not just how much money you make, it's how intentionally you use what you have. That's really what financial dignity is all about. So I would love for you to reflect on the following questions over the next couple of days. Where are you spending out of alignment with your happiness? And where can you invest in joy? Whether that's time, experiences, or generosity. And if you want help crafting a financial life that feels like you, that's aligned, that's elevated, that's free from fear, let's talk. You can book a financial dignity discovery call with me at christineluken.com/apply. Remember, money touches everything. And when you use it properly, it can support the rich, joy-filled life that you were meant to live. Well, my friend, this is where I leave you for today. If you have enjoyed our conversation, please leave us a review. It helps others to find the Money is Emotional podcast. And if you're not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as a new episode drops. Until next time, this is Christine Luken reminding you that you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people love you, including me. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Money is Emotional podcast. To get in touch, visit our website at www.christineluken.com or drop us a line at hello@christineluken.com. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Christine Luken. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing or tax advice. Always seek the advice of your advisor, tax professional, or other qualified financial professional with any questions you may have regarding your personal finances.